D2.
News Talk 640 WFNC. That's appropriate there. Flying like an eagle, Kenny Hitman
Yes,
McLean.
sir. Fly like an eagle. I know somebody who does that. I think. You know him, too.
Yeah, I do. This is Tyler Moore. Full disclosure, he's my godson. And now I'm Uncle Gil. You know, we talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Then tell everybody why we changed here.
Because I used to call him my godfather, obviously, but once you get to a certain age, it doesn't sit right calling him my godfather anymore at my age. So I call him uncle now, or Unc.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, Daddy. I said, young man. We made the change. So full disclosure, I've been his godson since he was like 2, I guess, or 1 or 2, or whatever it might be. And I've watched you grow, taught you how to swim. I didn't teach you how to fly. Tyler is one of the youngest pilots, or was one of the youngest pilots a couple of years ago. Tell us about that experience real quick for those who are just not familiar.
So basically, 2 years ago, I earned my private pilot's license at the age of 17, making me one of the youngest pilots in the country. I always wanted to fly since I was young. Growing up, it was either I wanted to go to the NBA or I wanted to be a pilot. And around freshman year, I realized I probably wasn't going to the NBA. So I decided to chase my other dream and become a pilot.
Well, you know, it's funny you say that you knew it your freshman year. I've seen him, Kenny, play basketball. He's pretty good at it. Matter of fact, when we did a story on WRAL about you becoming a pilot, I asked you to send me a clip so that I could show that you're also, on the basketball team. You know what clip he sent me? It was a clip of him coming down at Northwood Temple, shooting a three-pointer from like half court and turning and going down Steph Curry style before the ball even went through the net, all net. So you remember that shot?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that
Not bad.
Yeah. So I mean, so the bottom line is you had some skills, but at some point, how did you realize you said, yeah, I'm not going to really probably make it to the NBA?
I realized even not even just the NBA, playing basketball at the next level, at even the Division I level, as a guard, under 6'3", I mean, you have to be so elite and put so many hours in. I mean, if you look at the NBA, you can name a handful of guys who are under 6'3".
Spud Webb.
Yeah, and even then, they really rarely have long careers, and one injury can really sacrifice a lifetime's worth of work.
Well, but that's true of somebody who's 6'10".
Yeah, that is true.
So I get that, understand that, but your godfather, now uncle, also had dreams of being in the NBA. I have one heck of a helicopter pass. I've shown you that. I taught you that pass, but you never used it, and that's okay.
I remember that.
Yeah, but the thing about it is you make a good point, and all young folks should take heed to the fact that I could count probably on one hand how many people that I've known that actually made it to the next level. I did play college ball. I think you would have been able to play, and I don't know if D1, school, but you could play college ball. Now, you had aspirations of going to the Air Force Academy, and that didn't pan out. Tell us what that was like and all the stuff you went through, because I helped you write some letters and all that kind of stuff as well.
Yes, sir. So applying to a service academy is very different than applying to a regular civilian college. So a regular civilian college, you just have your application, your essay, maybe some letters of recommendation, and it's fairly simple. You could do it in around a week. But a service academy is pretty much a year-long process, and it's broken down into 3 phases, or 4 phases, actually. So you have your academics part, and your letters of recommendations, and your essays, obviously. That's one part. And then the next phase of it is obviously your fitness test. You have to be physically fit and pass the CFA, candidate fitness assessment. And then the third part of it is the congressional nomination. Since it's a federal service academy, you're using taxpayer dollars to pay for your education, obviously. Then there's no taxation without representation. So you have to have a congressional nomination from either your representative or your senator. And then the last part is the medical, because it's a military academy. there's the Department of Defense Medical Examination Review Board, which is separate from the academies themselves. So that's its own entity. So basically what happened with me applying to the Air Force and Naval Academy, I passed all three. I passed the fitness assessment. I had a very competitive, strong application. I received 3 nominations for the Air Force Academy from Senator Tom Tillis, David Rouser, Congressman David Rouser, and one from the President of the United States. And then for the Naval Academy, I received 2 nominations. And then the only thing that hindered my application was the medical process. So basically what happened, they went through my medical files, and when I was younger, I had asthma and I had allergies, but it wasn't severe. It was very mild, but my doctor had prescribed me an asthma pump inhaler and an epinephrine pen due to allergies. So since Service Academy, the medical, they deal with so many applicants, around 15,000 a year, they don't have time to do a thorough investigation of each applicant's medical circumstances. So it's very black and white. So if they see you have an asthma pump or inhaler, whether or not you used it, they just disqualify you because there's too many applicants to do a thorough investigation. So that's pretty much what happened. I had 3 medical disqualifications, and it was waiverable, but it really hurt my application in the long run of things.
Well, and so you go through that process, and I'm sure you were disappointed when you found out that you weren't going to get a chance to go to the Air Force or Naval Academies. What went through your head?
When I first found out, I was very disappointed, but I wasn't so disappointed because I realized that I felt that I did everything I could. I did my best, and that's all that really mattered. And it wasn't like something I could control. Like I can understand if I had bad grades or something that's controllable, but it was one of those things that are uncontrollable, and you can't really beat yourself up about things like that.
All right, so now there's a new plan here. You recently graduated from Northwood Academy, Northwood Temple Academy here in Fayetteville, and you did pretty good academically, and you got a few awards. I saw a few awards, and so you are a pilot now, and you haven't given up on your dream of being involved in the Air Force. Tell me what the plan is.
So I'm going to attend North Carolina State University in the fall, and I'm planning on doing Air Force ROTC. I want to do it for all 4 years and commission as an officer in the Air Force and still pursue my goals of being either a fighter pilot or just a military pilot in general. Obviously, I want to serve first, so any route that can get me there would be nice, and hopefully I can get a medical waiver for my past asthma and allergies.
Well, and there are waivers that are available, so that's but I think the main thing is you've already demonstrated your ability to fly. What do you fly?
Right now, I only fly this. Well, I've flown the Cessna 172 once, but I have a lot of hours in the Cessna 152 commuter, and then a lot of hours in the PA-28 Warrior Piper.
You and I had a great opportunity to meet Sully Sullenberg out at the museum out in Charlotte. I think the way it worked out, we did a story on Channel 5 on you being a young pilot, and I think his wife saw the story and said, "Hey, come here, look at this guy. He reminds me of you." And then what happened next?
Yeah, so he reached out, I think, to my mother, I believe, and then he invited me to come to his aviation museum in Charlotte, where he was hosting a Folds of Honor event, and we were able to pull up, and before his event started, he showed me on a personal tour of all of the aircraft in the museum, and he was telling stories about how he used to be in the Air Force and flew fighter jets and his career as an airline pilot, and just giving me words of advice and encouragement.
Sully Sullenberger is the pilot with the Miracle on the Hudson. His plane is inside that museum with the bird's markings on it that caused that plane to go down. He was able to land it and save all, 155 souls or how many were on there?
I believe 155.
Whatever the number was. And so it's just an incredible story to meet him in person. When WRAL set up the interview, I was in contact with him. His management folks says, you're going to get 5 minutes with him. That's it. So we sent a producer, a documentary team down, a photographer with multiple lights. We set it up ready to go. And he came in, and we spent, almost an hour with him, or 45 minutes or so. So it was really cool to interview him. And he was really impressed with you. And so is just about everybody that meets you. So we want you to continue to do what you're doing. And you're no stranger to NC State. Why is that?
My sister, she played on the basketball team, I believe 2019 to 2022. And so I was up there a lot every year pretty much watching her play.
So you're kind of familiar with the campus. Your mom is excited, I'm sure, and dad are excited about you're going to be here as opposed to in Denver, where the Air Force Academy is, because I know how your mom is.
Yeah.
His mom is Marvin Moore, who is a realtor here. Her dad is a retired member of the 82nd Airborne Division, Donald, and we appreciate what they do, what they've done, and the interest that they spent, not only in you, but also in your brothers and sisters as well. It's a real tight-knit family. Your grandfather, who was your grandfather?
Marvin Lucas, former representative, state representative.
So anyway, you're going to do your thing, and you will move on to NC State. No desire to play ball at NC State or walk on?
No, sir. I'm going to play intramural sports for fun, but I have no desire of making basketball a job for me.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I played college ball, and then I played intramural. I had more fun playing intramural at Central State University in Wilberforce. I was a member of the Booty Kickers intramural basketball team, and booties we did kick. It was raining 3-pointers on a regular basis here. So you'll have a lot of fun doing that. And then, when you get your commission, there's an opportunity. And I don't know how it works in the Air Force. I know in the Army, if you're an outstanding cadet, you can end up with a regular Army commission, which means that you have the same type of commission that you get if you graduated from West Point. In other words, you're a career guy, you're a 30-year guy. I'm not sure how it works in the Air Force. For individuals who just graduated from ROTC, you get a reserve commission, which means you can stay in for 20 years and you have to get out if you can't convert it to a regular Army commission. I ended up getting an RA, and I could have stayed in for 30 years, but I had to get out because of injury. So you have still the potential to get a commission. That's just like the one I'm sure you would have if you attend the service academy. But the most important thing is we appreciate the fact that you want to serve. You are 1% of the population who says that you're going to defend the country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That will be the oath that you will take when that day comes on your graduation. I hope Uncle Gil is around to be able to see that one. I missed your graduation in high school because of the scheduling things here, and missed your party.
That's fine.
All right. Well, look, Tyler, we appreciate you. Any last words you want to share with folks before you get out of here?
No, not really. Thank you for having me on the show this morning.
All right. It's our pleasure. You're listening to News Talk 640. We're WFNC.
Today will be partly cloudy with a few isolated afternoon storms and a high of 95. Any lingering storms will end overnight. We will then turn mostly cloudy with a low of 68, and Tuesday will be mostly cloudy with a high of 92. Temperatures will stay hot this week, climbing into the mid and upper 90s, even with a few isolated summer-like chances for rain by the end of the week. That's your Fayetteville forecast. I'm CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.
All right, Rachel, still 77 degrees in Fayetteville, Fort Bragg, and also in Hope Mills. You're listening to News Talk 640 or WFNC.
Fayetteville's first in news and information for 4 decades. News Talk 640